Greetings, everybody. I am Batman. And my voice doesn't really match up to that, so no, unfortunately I am not the Batman. I am merely the Bat-Fraud, and yes, we are playing the Return to Arkham version of this game, mainly because my original PS3 copy of Arkham Asylum is kind of broken at this point. It's probably an indictment of how much I like the game that the original disc I have is scratched, so yeah, but you know what, no harm, no foul, because I mean, despite the graphical differences that we will be pointing out throughout this commentary, we don't really have to worry too much, because it also includes the whole Joker DLC thing. Was DLC? No, I think it was originally included with the PS3 version. So, nothing to really worry about. Yes, indeedy, we have played through the game before, and we're going to do so again, because I must defeat my arch-enemy, the Riddler. Yes, indeed, it is not Joker that is the arch-nemesis. Well, okay, he's the arch-nemesis of the Batman, but the arch-nemesis of the Skully is in fact the Riddler. Because I'm stupid, and Edward Nygma will rub that in my face. So that's why he is my enemy, and I must destroy him, for the good of the people. And don't worry, no, unlike Resident Evil 0, I'm not playing on easy mode. Although, to be completely honest though, I'd say the game on all three difficulty modes is fairly well balanced, with hard mode having a little extra challenge, as you could probably read, with the whole, you know, counters don't show up, but I'll talk about all that when we get into the combat, and I just realized I didn't actually bother to introduce myself, so, greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome to Batman Arkham Asylum. This game is, well, kind of in a similar vein to the Batman movies, really, where, again, you know, you had some successes with Batman 1989, the 60s film, depending on what you like. Then there was, of course, Batman Returns, which was divisive. Then we had Batman Forever, which was, well, I mean, I liked it, but, you know, I can see why people didn't. Then we had Batman and Robin that killed the whole thing. And then Batman Begins, that sort of revived everything. Dark Knight Rises, which I haven't seen since 2012, which I remember being okay. And similarly, Batman video games for a long time were a little bit, yeah, but this is the first quote-unquote good one, and it makes you feel like Spider... Okay, maybe it's because I've still got Enter Electro on the brain, but yeah, this is the one that also has the other side of the coin, the feel like Batman kind of thing. And I mean, in fairness, this game does reflect a lot of aspects of the character, but I don't think it should invalidate a lot of the other Batman games, like, you know, the one on the NES, or the Batman Returns beat-em-up game, or even Batman Begins, which I actually found fairly decent by movie tie-in standards. But anyway, this game is also very chatty, so I'll basically be picking my battles in terms of what I'm talking over and what I'm staying silent for, like this cutscene.
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
That's Warden Shop to you. Bowles!
Yo, Frankie! How's the wife and kids? You miss me?
Shut it, clown!
A lot of people here really want to talk to you.
Really? I don't mind walking. Not so tight, boys. You'll crease the suit.
Get that filthy degenerate out of here!
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him.
Oh, dramatic score, because it's Batman. But yeah, to kind of catch you up on the plot, basically the Joker went on a bit of a rampage on City Hall, seemingly trying to get himself arrested by the nefarious Batman. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, to kind of talk about graphics for a second, this is the Return to Arkham port, which was, I believe, was released a little bit after Batman Arkham Knight. So again, these, I wouldn't necessarily call them remakes. They're more like retextures. Because I mean, comparing this to the original Arkham Asylum, a lot of the character models especially tended to look very waxy. What the Return to Arkham port did was basically, well, inject a bit of color to the game, because Jesus Christ, the original Arkham Asylum was fucking grayscale as fuck. And, yeah, they basically updated some of the textures so that a lot of the character models look less like wax figures. Not really helping matters is the character animation, which feels very static and still kind of waxy, to be honest, but I guess I did this to kind of make the, you know, 8th generation ports of the game feel a little bit more in line with Arkham Knight, and it's more, well, I wouldn't necessarily say hyper-realistic, but it's more realistic graphics engine, well, for the time anyway. I mean, this is 7 or 8 years ago, actually. Holy fuck, I'm I'm ancient, and it's even longer for Arkham Asylum, because this initially came out in 2009. God. And you know, it's probably saying something about how old I feel about this game, because I first heard about this game from magazine scans. I remember specifically, actually, it was like I think it was like the back issue of a PlayStation magazine, where it's basically the whole Joker's advertisement of Welcome to the Madhouse. You know, when that creepy as hell graffiti scroll insanity kind of artwork. It was really fucking cool, and it did hype me up for the game, because well, I mean, I'm not going to say that I wasn't really much of a Batman fan back then, but I will say that, did turn my head to read some of the comics. And that's all I'll say for now. But yeah, in the meantime, this is pretty much a 7th generation walk around and listen to dialogue while people do a thing. But it is greatly aided by the performances, particularly the voice cast, which, well, I mean, to kind of talk about where exactly Arkham Asylum fits, it's pretty much its own continuity, but it does pinch heavily from, again, the comic books that were running from Batman at the time, as well as pinching a few bits of the animated series influence, alongside, you know, bits and pieces of other Batman media here and there. I'd say the Arkham game is primarily comic books plus animated series, but you do get stuff here and there that occasionally cross-pollinates. Like, I mean, the heavier tech emphasis reminds me a lot of the 2004 Batman series, and, you know, you get little hints here and there. Nothing major, but it's enough to make me smile, people! And in terms of animated series rep, we have Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, good sir, and Mark Hamill reprising their roles. Sadly, well, I'm not going to say the last time, because in terms of the Arkhamverse anyway, I think Kevin Conroy had a role in a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that hasn't been released yet, and kinda looks kappa shit, but it was also his last role as the Batman. So yeah, that's a bit pathetic. I am also walking around and talking to a lot of people, so yeah, you might see me wasting a little bit more time than is necessary, but I think I probably brought this up before with our other commentaries, really. I have been considering on, you know, posting non-commentary versions, you know, on the off chance that people hate my waffling voice. But I don't know. It could be something to do in the future, but anyway, I'm making sure to talk to everybody so that, you know, you at least get to get the maximum amount of interaction with characters, even though I'm not really commenting on it, such as the story right now. You might be wondering why an insane asylum has a bunch of burly prisoners. Well, that's because Joker started a fire at Blackgate Prison, and now all of his goons have been transferred here. Why exactly would Warden Sharp, the balding, pompous nitwit that we met earlier on in the game, approve of this transfer? Who knows? Maybe he could be a little bit crazy, because running an asylum full of crazy guys could make one themselves crazy. Kind of like the historical figure behind Arkham Asylum itself, Amadeus Arkham. Yes indeed, Amadeus. He went really crazy. Oh, Amadeus. Also there's Steve Bloom as a doctor, and several other characters in the game actually. By God, by close of business today, they're gonna make great budget out of their Steve Bloom budget-ing thing, including other prolific voice actors like Corey Burton, Wally Wingart, and, Nika Futterman, I think, who was, voicing the lovely Dr. Young. That no-nonsense, get the fuck out of my way, I'm a bitch woman who is, very keen on curing the Joker. Good luck, madam. You'll need it. Braver doctors before have tried, and I can't do a good Joker voice, for the life of me. But yeah, I do apologize if I am wasting a little bit too much time, at least in terms of commentary pacing to talk to people, but again, I got this footage recorded, and by God, I'm gonna show off a lot of stuff, because there are actually plenty of aspects where the characters do... excuse me, where the characters do, you know, stand around and have a chat, and you can go out of your way to talk to characters at various points in the story, and they will have updating dialogue depending on what you do. It's kind of a mechanic that kind of reminds me of Max Payne in a way, where they have, like, very specific situations set up so that you can interact with characters, and get a lot of unique stuff because of the game's very small-scale setting. Because, I mean, compared to the likes of, Arkham City and Arkham Knight that did tend to, you know, widen the scope a lot, Arkham Asylum, on the other hand, has some very intimate moments in terms of how you can interact with specific things and get some unique dialogue. It's also, very sweet, and I'm not going to bring that up idly either, because I feel like there are a few more Max Payne comparisons to come. Like this nightmarish beast, and you might be wondering what exactly is stopping Killer Croc from ripping everybody's face off, but, yeah, something you don't actually learn until, you dig into the files of the game. Well, okay, I mean the in-game, like, file thing, not the game data that you have to data mine into. Yeah, basically, Killer Croc's kept back by a shock collar and a fuckload of tranquilizers. Keep that in mind, because I honestly God believe if it wasn't for those tranquilizers and shock collar, well, yeah, Batman would be screwed, even despite being the Batman. And, yeah, these guards, smell a little bit stinky. Although, then again, if you're coming into contact with Killer Croc on a daily basis, you'd have to wonder why. Although, then, well, I mean, again, comic books, so I probably know the reason why, but, why exactly Killer Croc is in this place, I have no idea. They have a very specialized cell for him, and, you would have thought he would have fit under the whole Blackgate mold, but, oh well. Revolving door jail, money, dear boy, that's why we need to have the Batman, and I guess also a mixture of the fact that Gotham is very corrupt. So why am I even wasting my time? But yeah, all these guards pretty much have unique dialogue, so it does pay dividends to talk to them, even if their only role is to say, "Oh my god, Killer Croc is so scary, I peed my pants." So, get out of here, Batman. I wanna change my pants. Oh dear, it appears the Joker has got a party for us. Although should we call him Pudding, he might get angry. Though I will say, like, I mean, comparing Joker and both Kevin Conroy's voice actually compared to when they started in the animated series, because, I mean, I did actually start rewatching it not too long ago, and by god, you can hear, like, it's weird, because, like, I mean, you can hear a lot of the rasp that, you know, his kind of aged Mark Hamill's vocal cords that, make him feel a little bit more deeper than when he started. Inversely, though, Kevin Conroy has actually gotten... I think he's using his natural speaking voice now, whereas I feel like in the earlier animated series episodes, he kind of tried to go for a bit of that Michael Keaton sort of rasp, because I guess back in the day, the animated show was meant to be a tie-in to the Tim Burton movies. It's weird, he kind of uses Batman voice a bit like this. Well, again, poor impersonations aside, it's weird. Anyway, the Joker is suspicious. He caused the power out. The Joker has psychic powers now. Yes. Joking. Oh yeah, by the way, because I also love to fiddle with the options menu, it also gives me a chance to talk about the pause menu. Yeah, it actually does that whole, like, what was it called again in Max Payne? The, oh yeah, address unknown sort of, like, negative space kind of style, and, yeah, quite stylish for a pause menu. I don't know, I like it, it gives it a very comic book feel. Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun-dun. This elevator music brought to you by Solidus-Skully. But yeah, don't worry, we don't have too much more walking around fuckery to deal with. It's really just one more cutscene and then we get into the action. Because it is a great night for a party, wouldn't you say, Patsy? Hee 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 ho ho ha ha.
I'll be sure to try harder next time. What say we aim for 100?
Oh dear, he's going to up his score. That means he'll unlock the secret cutscene in Devil May Cry 3, where he sees Virgil run towards Mundus and die, off-screen, in a very disappointing thing that could have been a secret bus scenario. An air ventilation shaft beneath the elevator. It seems somebody's elevating fear to new depths. It's, anyway, we've kind of beaten around the bush enough. Let's continue on with the game, because I believe Commissioner Gordon waits through that door.
Waste of money.
Yes, I agree, God. Cutscene go now, activate.
Long night, Jim?
Joker invades City Hall and holds the mayor hostage, leaving it to me to juggle SWAT teams, the media, and you. Yeah, it's been a hell of a night.
Hopefully the last one we'll ever have with him.
Yeah, right.
Hold it there. Sorry, Batman. Arkham staff only.
I assure you, if anyone's qualified, it's...
Listen, I appreciate the assistance, but he'll unsettle the more violent inmates.
I think he's talking about you, Bats. Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome here. Gotta say, it's good to be back.
You okay?
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it.
At least he's back where he belongs.
Get up!
Now!
Joker's loose. Alert the warden.
Hurry! We're losing him! The joke's on you. Ta-da! Honey, I'm home.
Come on in.
Welcome to the madhouse, Batman! I set a trap, and you sprang it gloriously! Now let's get this party started.
Let's start the potty! Stylish, smoking sexy rank, whatever. Still getting into my Devil May Cry funk, it seems. But yeah, to talk about the game's combat schema, it's not quite your traditional God of War style beat-em-up. I mean, okay, it's sort of difficult to talk about this as if it's a relatively new thing, because the Arkham combat system, I wouldn't say necessarily revolutionized how a lot of action games played, particularly of the superhero mode compared to what you see in your more modern day sort of like Spider-Man-esque sort of things, but there is a certain rhythm to it. Basically, again, if you button mash, you're pretty much going to get your ass kicked. It's pretty much reliant upon, again, rhythmically telling when enemies are going to attack you with a little spider sense thing that comes up on the head, press triangle to counter, and basically just, well, use your punches to rhythmically attack the enemies. Again, you also have your basic takedown where you crouch down and knock them down, or again, you can counter enemies, use your twirl your cape to stun them, and yeah, the combat pretty much just germinates from there. From a very simple rhythmic button press does an interesting mold begin to grow. Although Arkham Asylum doesn't really tend to varietize it that much. Take that, Frank Balls. I hate this place, I hate it! But yeah, it's a relatively simple combat schema, especially in Arkham Asylum's case, because it is very basic, but it is functional for what it's trying to do, although it does come to run into a bit of a problem when it comes to boss fights, because while fighting regular goons in multiple opponent combat scenarios is fine enough as is, when it comes to fighting mano a mano, you're gonna find yourself running into a problem really, really quickly. But I'll save that for a little bit later. Basically, because, you know, they were like, oh no, Batman can't go in here because the prisoners will get upset, even though, by all regards, they should be locked up in their fucking cells and having Batman there to protect what is admittedly an unpredictable maniac genius dude. I don't know. Again, the whole idea is that there wouldn't be a game, and I suppose even if Batman did accompany the Joker, yeah, to kind of, jump ahead of the gun here, Joker's been planning this for months, so yeah, he probably would have accounted both for Batman following him, or, you know, the guards leading him off. But anyway, we also have character bios here, which I'm also going to be, well, I'm going to be showing them off in brief. Again, if you want to read all these up yourself, pause the video, read the stuff, and get as much juicy info as you can, but, yeah, that's pretty much it. It admittedly does tell you some pretty interesting facts, though, like the comic books they debuted in, a lot of the characters' skills, although, one of the weird parts, since I guess this is an example of early installment weirdness, yeah, some characters will kind of have their origins changed because they probably intended them to just reference their comic book origins in the game, but then eventually appear in the sequels, like how Hugo Strange, for example, appears in Arkham City, but he has a completely different backstory that implies that he's met Batman before here. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but at the same time, though, we also have Arkham Asylum exclusive characters, such as Warden Sharp. Keep an eye on him. He's a little bit of a strange guy. Take that, Frank Ballsack. Yeah, you also get to meet Frank Balls, who was also introduced specifically to this game. This place. Truly this must be the work of my enemy, the Riddler. And we'll be getting to that later on, but yes, indeed, the Riddler is my arch nemesis because, well, needless to say, the game has a certain aspect involving the Riddler, as we'll be seeing right inside this vent, and, yeah, I failed at the first riddle, and ever since then, I have just completely, well, let's just say that I've made the Riddler my arch nemesis. So, this game isn't gonna be the whole Batman vs. Joker thing, as much as it might try to make you think it is. No. This game is Skully versus the Riddler. There he is. Don't worry, Riddler, I will find you, and I will destroy you. I must bring you to justice and incarcerate you once again. But it also seems that the Riddler is now, past tense. He's out of Arkham Asylum and running free. We cannot allow this. I will find him and bring him to jail. Although, to be completely honest though, since Blackgate has been pretty much fucked by the thugs and, well, that in and of itself, that Arkham Asylum is pretty much compromised, where would they take... Well, I mean, then again, Gotham City Police Department probably does have holding cells of their own, so, that will have to do for now. But yeah, there is, quite a fair bit to do at this point, but we'll get into the greater scope of the game a little bit later. In the meantime, the prisoners are running amok. Welcome to the madhouse, my dear. And, yeah, there's a lot of hidden secrets to discover, a lot of things to do. But in the meantime, we've got a riot to stop. We need to stop Joker before time runs out. And also figure out what exactly his master plan was. If it wasn't to wreak havoc in Gotham, it seems to be something sinister. Perhaps we should ask the doctor. Dr. Young, was it? The lovely young lady. Yeah, that's right, just to show the same repeated shots of prisoners running with different camera angles. Yeah, you know, like, simultaneously growing up and understanding, like, video game conventions and, you know, certain cutscene animation. God, it really kind of takes the piss out of some scenes that you otherwise wouldn't expect, but... Yeah, basically in order to knock thugs down, you basically need to get at least a 3-hit combo. Again, you're seeing the multiplier right there. Yeah, you do get certain abilities and things if you get a high enough threshold, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. In the meantime, we have to save people. And also take out Joker teeth, because the Joker's smile, it haunts me.
Oracle, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Joker's escaped custody. He's running free in Arkham.
Do you need anything? Is my dad still there?
Commissioner Gordon is safe. Joker's not far ahead. I'll stay in contact.
That computer's gonna need a hell of a debugging. But yes, indeed, we also have Barbara Gordon, Oracle, so the killing joke did in fact happen in this universe. And, yeah, for those of you wondering who exactly Oracle is, previous Batgirl, I don't know if Cassandra Cain exists in this continuity, probably not, so there hasn't been any other Batgirls. But yeah, Oracle not just is Batman's techie information findy out person, yeah, but I believe is also pretty much the main nerve center for not just most superheroes, but also the leader of the Birds of Prey. Although, then again, whether or not that exists in this continuity or was even a thing at this point is, well, debatable. But in the meantime, we've pretty much got to go rescue her father, Commissioner Gordon. Because I don't think the commish is in danger, but there could be thugs going after him.
What happened?
Joker happened.
Does this guy not know what's going on? He surely should have seen the television screen showing thugs running amok, but oh yes, villains are running amok, and it's also here where we're introduced to Victor Zuaz. A character who I never really knew about before this game. I think he was initially planned for the animated series at one point before being cut for being too violent, and I seem to recall he had a cameo in the beginning of Batman Begins when Bruce tried to get revenge on Joe Chill. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It wasn't really a good introduction to him, but this game certainly does him justice, and they really do a good job of making Zaz creepy, especially with his voice actor. Yeah, that's right, mate, just tug on the box. Sure, that's gonna open it. But yeah, seems we have to deal with this Mr. Victor Zez. And this is a situation of sticky predicaments. Will Batman be able to save the hostage from Victor Zaz? Will Victor Zaz succeed in killing his next victim? Find out next time. Same bat time, same Skully channel. So on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank God. It's Zaz. He's got Mike. He's strapped in the chair. Zaz has totally lost it.
Wait here.
You can't. He'll kill Mike if he sees anyone trying to get close.
He won't see me.
I see anything that looks even a little bit like a bat, and this guard dies. Do you hear me?